WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinda.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback.
Happy Monday. I want to welcome everyone to the program. I generally start the show off by saying have pen and paper handy because there's information you may want to record, and we don't want to trust our minds to remember every detail that we hear. Today you'll notice that Theo Broughton is not here, so this is like an all-testosterone show, all brothers, and we're going to represent. My name is Thabiti Mpinda, for those of you who may be first-time viewers and listeners, and I have seated to my immediate left Dr. Eddie Connor, and then to his left Brother Keith Hines, and we'll get into more detail about our backgrounds and such. I want to welcome you to the program, and as Theo would say, happy Monday. This is Monday, March 7th, the first week of March, and we got a lot of stuff to do. So what I want to do is I want to have each one of these brothers introduce themselves, and then we're going to start our conversation with Dr. Eddie Connor. So if you could give us your name, your background, and some of the things that you've done, brother. Any shout-outs you want to give to the audience, we'll go with that.
Absolutely appreciate you, Brother Thabiti, and of course being between these incredible dynamic titans of truth. I mean, you all have got more great history than I probably can remember. So it's just so great to be able to be here and to share. 2022 marks 22 years of me being cancer-free. So to not look like what I've been through and to be able to overcome obstacles and find the can in cancer is really what it's all about. And Dr. George Fraser says, once you learn and earn, then you must return back to your community. So being able to give back, I'm an East Sider on the city of Detroit, and being able to mentor many of our young brothers through my programs, Boys to Books and Gifted for Greatness, empowering our young brothers through literacy, leadership, and life skills enrichment, living through dying places and doing something positive and being productive assets to their community is what it's all about. I've got my new book coming out tomorrow, which you see here, Dear Queen, Volume 2, How to Wear Your Crown, Walk in Authority and Authenticity. It's all about giving love to our sisters, our black women, our queens. As Malcolm X said, the most neglected, unprotected, and disrespected woman on the planet is the black woman. And oftentimes when sometimes we stand on the sidelines, our sisters stand on the front lines. But to understand that they are queens, real queens don't compete, they collaborate. Real queens aren't just focused on a man, they focus on their plan. They understand that their royalty demands loyalty. They wear their crown, they build their queendom in the kingdom of God. They're too unique to compete and too rare to compare. And so people can get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, as well as my website, dreddieacademy.com/Dear Queen.
And Brother Keith, if you'll introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, I guess I can't stay in the background too long, can I? Yeah, my name is Keith Hines. Of course, Diamond 2 Productions, Free Detroit, We the People, Black Pilots for America, Hood Research, Tuskegee Airmen, Friends of Detroit City Airport, Jefferson Chalmers Citizen District Council, and I think I could probably stop there, but I used to be an electrician. I'm retired also, IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I was electrical inspector for the city of Detroit for several years. I, of course, had my own production company, did a lot of great things, discovered a lot of great people over the years, had a lot of fun. People made it to the top, and they just touched base, starting with me, people like Nita Baker and a few other people. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to go too much into that now because this is for Beatty's show. And he's going to be the one that's going to tell you all the good stuff. These guys here, I'm still the quiet guy in the background when I can be, you know. So
Well, we're going to put you on Front Street,
Yeah,
brother,
yeah.
in the background. It's not good enough for a man with your credentials. And what I want to do right now is, Theo and I would generally do in every show, is I want to give a shout out to people. So I want to say hi to Sly Soul and Gladys, Clementine, Sister Beatty. These are all faithful listeners who are really much in the struggle in their own way. And like these brothers up here, they have a background in doing things. And that's what we need really in our community. We always talk about the village, but, you know, we have to look at it as there are so many people in the village who really need guidance. So giving shout outs to them, Cheryl D., Brother Fred, and all of you. And again, you see the numbers at the bottom of the screen. So if you have your pen and paper, write down those numbers so that you can participate in the conversation also. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off asking Dr. Eddie Connor about his books, some of the materials in there. And I like the fact that he said, and this is something that's just deep to my heart as well, about exalting our sisters, because there's a sister now I just noticed on Facebook, I believe she's raised over $60,000 to try to get some of the African students out of Ukraine right now.
Wow.
Because a lot of them are not being allowed out. And I'll just say this and we'll segue to your book, that I was looking at something on television and they were showing how a African student from the Congo was trying to leave and they wouldn't let him leave.
Oh, right.
And they actually kicked a sister physically with their foot off of the train, saying that this train, which is, you know, trying to take people out of Ukraine while all this madness is going on, they physically kicked her off the train, saying this train is for Ukrainians only. And they told that African brother, they say, hey, what you need to do is pick up a gun and start fighting with us. He's like, this is not even my country, you know. So although I have, you know, certain, I don't care for Putin and his tactics and things, but I don't like to see racism anywhere on the planet, especially when it concerns our people, which means we're still struggling. But brother, what I'd like to do is ask you, what motivated you to do this book, and could you give us kind of like an overview or feeling of what led to writing it?
Yeah, you know, from Crispus Attucks until now, we've been fighting for people and places that don't even represent us, and I think we're still in that struggle, still in that fight, and this book, Dear Queen, speaks to that. As I said, the most neglected, unprotected, disrespected woman on the planet is the black woman, as Malcolm X suggested. And really, it started off, I used to write love letters in school to girls. And some years later, I said, hey, if I can write a letter of love to girls, why can't I write a book of love to women? And it's all about loving yourself, knowing your worth. So from high school to now, going through the school of life, to being able to be a blessing and speak life into our sisters. And really in the whole age of a lot of times hypermasculinity, the misogyny, even the alpha male affinity that's going on, we still have to be what we are as providers, as caretakers, as individuals who will uplift our sisters in society. And so that whole aspect of loving yourself, of knowing your worth, of really wearing your crown. You know, I believe that if you don't know who you are, people will tell you what you're not. As a result, you'll believe and buy into that philosophy, and then you'll pass that on to the next generation. So being able to know whose you are and who you are, to be able to define yourself and define your reality. What you go through doesn't define you, it ought to refine you. And so being able to refine the strength and the solidity, sagacity rather, that's in the strength of our sisters is just a ode and a salute to them. I mean, we stand on the shoulders of giants. You know, you can think about incredible dynamic sisters in our culture, in our history, and Black history doesn't just end on the last day of February.
Absolutely.
It's 24/7, 365. You talk about a Claudette Colvin. You talk about a Coretta Scott King, a Coretta Scott Queen, rather. You know, you talk about a Betty Shabazz and Shirley Chisholm and a Sojourner Truth, and you can go down the line, Harriet Tubman. All of that lives through the DNA of what we have today. And so just giving a sincere salute to our sisters is what this book is all about, and it's going to uplift them from every page to every chapter.
You know, one thing, it's many things you said that I like, brother, and particularly some of the names you articulated. And I think about, because I've been a historian, I've been a researcher, a little bit of everything all throughout my life, and it's always revolved around our community first, because when we go through school, we're already given his background, his history, his lifestyle, what he's accomplished, even if he didn't accomplish it and claimed it as his own. And when I think about that, what you said, especially some of the sisters, man, I go back to even in Africa where you had Queen Nzinga, there's a lot of sisters who led the march, who rallied the people, who ran kingdoms, who did things. So the black woman has always been neglected in terms of history acknowledging her and her view. And I happen to be, you know, just because last month was Black History Month, but like the brother said, this is 365. You black every day, so we just don't cut it off. The February is for those other people who don't know about us, but for us, it's Black History every day. But I was looking at where they spoke about Ella Baker, they were speaking about Fannie Lou Hamer. You know, these names aren't really raised the way they should be, but sisters have led so many things. And as we know, women, black women have led households. We talk about single family households. We look at how the sisters have had to do this, whether the man wanted to be a part of it or not. And brothers, this is a shout out to y'all. Whether or not you're with your wife, your baby's mother, whatever it may be, what you also need to do is be involved in that child's life. We as adults are supposed to be able to get over our little small differences, but those children still need that guidance. And I want to encourage you all to get this book, because I like the way you say, and I've seen sisters say this too, sister, if my crown is crooked, you help me put it on straight, that type of thing, you know, don't disparage me. Now, brother, I want you to tell them where they can get the book, and then we're going to delve a little bit further.
Absolutely. It's coming out everywhere on March the 8th. March marks National Reading Month. It marks Women's History Month, but March 8th is International Women's Day, and it's everywhere on Amazon, Audible, iTunes, as well as my website, dreddieacademy.com/Dear Queen.
And give them that again slowly, because you know, even when I'm writing, I have trouble keep it up sometimes.
Absolutely. You can go right to Amazon.com to get a copy. It's on a ebook as well as a hard copy. Audible, I have an ebook out, 6 hours of me not just doing a recitation but conversation as I'm edifying you through the book as a narrator. And then also on my website, where you can get a hard copy signed from yours truly, dreddieacademy.com//Dear Queen.
Now, it was something you were saying earlier about, now you were speaking about your East Side roots, and you were speaking about boys and books. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Absolutely. You know, I'm an educator by trade, and I taught on the high school level for 12 years before matriculating on to the collegiate level as a professor. And oftentimes when our young brothers would open up a book, they close their eyes. And so I saw the whole aspect of the lack of literacy, interest. You know, Walter Dean Myers said that books transmit values. If I'm not in the book, what does that say about my value? Right. So culturally relevant literature to where our brothers see their lives reflected in what they read, and being able to speak life into their lives. You know, they're building prisons based on 2nd and 3rd grade reading scores. Right. You know, beyond just a dropout rate, there's oftentimes a push-out rate. And the statistics suggest that 50% of Detroiters are functionally illiterate, rather can't read above a 4th grade reading level. And so beyond just, you know, rehabilitation from the prison system, between that school to prison pipeline, preschool to prison pipeline, I think we got to focus on prevention. And that is giving our brothers the right type of rearing, development, standing in the gap. Even if you're not a father, you can be a mentor. And I decided to do that and just speak life into the lives of our brothers through literacy, leadership, life skills, enrichment, and just show them how to make that transformation from boyhood to manhood.
Now, Brother Keith, I know that you've been involved with the Davis Aerospace Academy, and you deal with youth. And I'm going to ask both of you brothers this question. What, you know, because like you, I would say, not knowing, brother, that you may be young enough to be one of my children, you know, and so and why I say that is because you're being able to speak to youth would be, let's say, more effective than mine, maybe because they'll look at me age-wise until they find out what comes out of my mouth to find out who I really am, because it's easy to judge a book by its cover, but without knowing what's inside the pages, you really don't know how you're reading it. So I want to ask you first, Brother Keith, in your interaction with youth, particularly with Davis Aerospace, because we promote this a lot, and I want to say this to you all. There are a lot of opportunities for our youth, young males and females, to be able to grow and to become something with their lives as opposed to all these images. But what is your experience with youth and how you interact with them and how they respond to you?
Well, I always looked at it as they are the next generation. They are us. They're an extension of us. So when I run into youth, and of course it's been all my life really because I used to be one, and there is no ceiling to how much you can learn, to how much you can know, or who you can be. And that was something that I was taught when I was young by a whole bunch of older people, my elders, who maybe didn't even have a high school education. They came up from the South, but they knew words of wisdom that could carry you. And so I listened to some of the words some of the youth today use, and of course it comes out of the music that they listen to, and it's kind of lacking in a lot of ways as far as what do you call it? Taking the next generation to a higher level. Right. Let's put it that way. Like I stumbled into aviation, and I say stumbled because I had no mentors. I had no one that had anything to do with aviation. It was just I had an interest in science and things growing up. And I had a hard time picking what high school I wanted to go to. Of course, I could have gotten a scholarship to play football, wide receiver, before Billy Sims, the early Billy Sims. Yeah. But they wanted me to go to Kettering. They had just built Kettering. It was new back then. I had the opportunity. I was really getting pushed by my counselor and teachers to go to Cass Tech because of my grade point average, and I guess they thought I was that person. But I wasn't sure because to me that was like doing what they wanted me to do, but what did I really want to do?
Right.
And so when I staggered my time, and kept postponing my visit to the counselor's office to make that final decision on the school. And of course, over the intercom, Keith Hines, report to the counselor's office, please. I heard that a whole bunch of times, which means now I got to go and I got to make a decision. I know what it's all about. And so he takes this sheet of paper and he holds it up, and it has a list of all the schools on it in the city of Detroit. Says you got to pick one of these. We're running out of time. Well, aeromechanics started with an A. It was the school at the top. And I said, aeromechanics, what's that? He says, you don't want to go there. I said, but what is it? Because remember, you can always, don't be afraid to ask questions. This is all to you.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. I thought I was pretty smart, but average, but I still wanted to know, what is aeromechanics? He said, well, they work on airplanes. My eyes lit up. I said, airplanes? Yeah, but you don't want to go there. I said, you said airplanes. We're talking real airplanes. I said, yeah, but they don't have any girls. We're not talking about girls. We're talking about airplanes.
Right.
They don't have a basketball or a football team. We're not talking about sports. We're talking about airplanes. Right. You're talking to a kid with a Cox P-40 Warhawk with an 049 engine sitting on his dresser at home, and I took it apart, put it together a million times, and you say I get to work on a real airplane?
Right.
I said, I want to go. But it took me weeks now to get the address and the location from my counselor because they really wanted me to go to Cass. Because that was the thing back then for African Americans,
right,
to get that higher education. And I guess they viewed going to a school like that as just tapering off. But really, that opened the door to my future because I'm sitting in a classroom. The kid next to me, his parents own an engineering firm. They come from another state. Somebody over here owns an aircraft company, and I'm in the room with all these people. And that's when it came to me, it really hit me about race, but in a different way. It was only 9 of us, blacks, in the whole school. And all of us stumbled into it. We weren't told that there's a school that exists like this.
And that's an interesting thing in that there's not enough information circulating in our community or inspiration. Now, we do have a caller, so we're going to invite them into the conversation. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you give us your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Slide go Silverado.
Hi, hello, our resident poet for Hood Research.
Hey, I love it. We're talking about education, and I'm all about information and education that leads to liberation.
Absolutely.
Now, I want you to know that Stop the Hijacking of Black Bottom Legacy, Preserving Our History. There's a press conference today, and it starts at 1 at that Miller High School on Dubis Street, D-U-B-O-I, Du Bois. Is it D-U-B-O-I-S Street, 2232. Miller High School.
2232 is the address?
D-U-B, yes, 2232, D-U-B-O-I-S. And that's at 1 o'clock today at Miller High School, Preserving Our History press conference.
Okay, and now you say this is, I don't know if you said Black Bottom or Paradise.
No, this might. Oh, you know what? This is old news. This happened in 2021, March the 8th, but it says join us Monday, March the 8th. And I know today is March the 8th, so I'm kind of confused. Is they doing a repeat? I'm going to have to call Lori, y'all, to double check.
And what would you say the nature of this presentation was?
Stop the hijacking of Black Bottom Legacy, Preserving Our History press conference.
And what I find interesting, and I know you're a little older, brother, and you may be familiar with it, and I'm sure you may have heard of Black Bottom or Paradise Valley, and how what the government did was to, and this is in most major cities across the country, they ran highways through our communities, and another documentary I saw actually kind of expressed how, well, in the Caucasian and certainly the wealthier communities, they weren't going to have it, So where were they going to run it? And part of the, I guess, scheme was to destroy whatever economical validity we had, because we had our own doctors, lawyers, barbershops, libraries. We had it all, really, sort of like Black Wall Street, and we've had them all over this nation. So, yes, sister, if you can find out if that's going to be today, currently, let us know, please. And then that way we can sort of get into it. Now, we've got about 2.5, 3 minutes to the break, but I wanted to ask you, Dr. Connor, in your experience teaching young men and young women, what kind of a relationship do you have? How do they respond to a lot of the things that you're trying to share with them, and do they seem open to that information?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I try to lead with, especially in the classroom sector, is connecting with relationship first, taking an interest in what it is that they're interested in, and then it opens up their mind to actually listen to what us as educators have to say. I think as teachers, we a lot of times we're so focused on teaching, but not actually learning. Right. I think you've got to have one foot, yes, in the problem, one foot in the solution, one foot in the learning, one foot in the teaching as well. So being receptive enough, and I think it goes from a place of relationship, then you go to rhetoric, and being able to share. And really, I think one of the things that really speaks life into them is just edifying them, encouraging them, empowering them, letting them know that they have a gift that's inside of them. One of the greatest indicators of success for students is the belief that they can succeed, and that comes from the teacher. That comes from us to them. Before we expect them to believe that they can achieve, we have to first believe that who we're teaching can actually learn the material. And so beyond just memorization, I think it's also about connection. How can they enhance and improve their community? How does the history that they're learning play into the connection of where they are in the present? How does that affect and impact the future? And just letting them know, hey, no need of you believing that you can't make it in math and science when you come from your ancestors who aligned the pyramids with the stars.
Right.
That's right.
But now that's a powerful note for us to take our break on, because when the brother speaks about that ancient African history and a lot of the knowledge that came out of our past, which we know nothing about. We start here at 1619, most of us, but we preceded that by eons. So we're about to take our bottom of the hour break. Grab your coffee. Tell your friends, relatives, neighbors, co-workers, whoever, to tune in, and we'll be right back after the break.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
This is Theo Broden from Feedback. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
All right, everybody, settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there's gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wally Wallman here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
I've always been a runner, but I've never run from anything, and neither has my city.
Do you want to be a Detroit police officer?
Sir, yes, sir!
Amen!
It's something special to protect the people closest to you, the ones you've known all your life, your neighbors, your friends. I was born in this city, and I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. That's why I wear the shield.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-804-0119. That's 1-800-804-0119. Call now. 1-800-804-0119.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback.
Welcome back to Feedback. I have with me as a guest Dr. Eddie Connor, who's sitting to my immediate left, and then to his left, Brother Keith Hines, who has credentials that would take the rest of the show to list, so we won't delve into that. And again, I hope that you've had a chance to invite others to listen. And I want to kind of follow up on what Dr. Connor was saying when he was speaking about relating to youth. One of the things, and I didn't share this with you yet, Brother Hines knows that I've been into music for a while, and particularly rap, once it came out initially in the 80s. And I don't, as Theo, condone a lot of the rap music now that more or less misguides our youth into negative behaviors, whatever they may be, dressing loose. Like we're talking about queens, so our queens don't need to be looking like hoochies or hood rats. But when you have Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and I'm not slamming them, that's their art, Nicki Minaj and others, they give an image that other girls want to follow, just like certain young men will follow the images of, let's say, Migos, Travis Scott. There's a lot of brothers out there, so the sagging pants tends to still remain a phenomenon. And the problem I've got with that truly is, and I've got nephews, so I can say this based on just my interactions with them. There's a point in time, brothers, I think, that okay, as a teenage fad, I can kind of understand we all get caught up with our peer pressure. But when you're in your 20s, as you segue into your 30s and even 40s, there's a lot of young brothers who still think it's worthwhile to have that appearance. They call it swag. I don't see it that way. But the point I'm going to make, and then we have a caller, is that the way that you chose, Dr. Connor, to relate to youth so that way they'll relate to you, kind of meeting them where you're at and building a bridge between yourself and them is what I do with music in the same way. They're not ready for a brother at my age to be spitting bars, because they think that maybe I'm lost in the dramatics and some of those groups of yesteryear. But we have to remain, as adults, current with what's in their life, because they didn't grow up with that, so it's going to be harder for them to relate. But if they know that you know something about some of the, I guess, previous ones, Jeezy, T.I., and some of those, all the way up to the brothers that's there now, once you can establish that bond of understanding that you know it, then their ears will perk up. I found that, and then when I start spitting bars, and I have to say that the things that I say, my rhymes are based on positivity. I might tell a story about somebody in the neighborhood, as y'all say, the hood, who is kind of like leaning towards the dark side, I would call it, and they want to run a scheme, they want to run a game, and so I might start off with that. But I found that it's always important that I guess like Aesop's fables, what is the moral of the story, and what are the consequences from these actions? That's very important, and that's something we have to kind of bring to them. I want to invite the caller to the program. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name, how you're viewing us, please?
Sligo, Silverado.
Welcome back, sister.
Yeah, that was last year's news. That was old news. I just text Lori. So, yeah, she was just putting it on Facebook. But it's just the coincidence that today is March the 8th, and it was a year ago on March the 8th. But I'm in agreement with you, and this is why I do my spoken words, because I try to push out positive energy. because we're so trapped and attacked, and we need more to positively fight back and to strategize, organize, create that village that feeds our young and old heads positive energy that would lead to liberation, rights and liberties, and also include security.
You know, I have to say, when this sister starts, it's it's valuable to listen because she can, in a compact form, articulate so many different things. Like when you mentioned the old and the young, sometimes if you had a record, Sly Soul, what I would end up doing, like I used to do back in the day, is I had to play it over and over again because words are so important to me, and that's the foundation of our communication. We look at griots from the past, and everyone would sit around and the griot would share, because a griot basically was the library for the village. He knew the knowledge and shared it. And sister, when you speak, I have that same feeling, like, wow, she just dropped a heavy one on us, and it's something that we need to think of. And then this book right here represents you as well, Our Queens.
Oh yeah, Sylvia's a queen.
Yes. And she wears a beautiful crown as well, and so she's one who, with a son and a grandson, I'm sure that they are, beneficiaries of the great wealth of her knowledge. And I would just say that keep doing what you're doing, sister. Always keep us informed and enlightened. We appreciate and love you.
Shabidi, I'm going to be in touch with you so that you can attend some of the spoken words where my son is, where there's young people spitting out positive, conscious poetry and messages.
I appreciate that, sister. That's something I used to do, brothers, back in the day. I would attend a lot of the open mics.
Word.
Yes, spoken word venues, and have a few videos. And my whole purpose for being there, and again, I was the grandfather in there with the youth. But
me too. I'm the grandpa. I'll be in there.
But the beautiful thing is that when we're there, we're unexpected in terms of what we not fitting into.
Well,
maybe
we're adding that intergenerational.
Right.
We're closing that intergenerational gap, and we're bringing us all together, because like minds need to be in the same room, need to be at the same meetings, need to be in the same village.
And what's interesting, and I'm going to let you brothers also comment on this, is that I have found that it seems to be a more effective way, sometimes through music. I mean, when we look back at Edwin Starr War, he put that in a way where because we are people of rhythm anyway. We always when we talk about rhythm, we talk about black folks. I mean, others may have it, but we always talk about our culture. And we look at Marvin Gaye. We look at a lot of people who have delivered messages through music, and it seems like that's the most effective way, although now the music we get is not the same type of messages of yesteryear. But as you said, sister, we are in an intergenerational thing where we have to, I guess, as they say, each one reach one, each one teach one, so that we have to reach back, and then when they see the light that we're shining, it makes them shine a little bit more as well, and then they can share with their peers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, sister, because I haven't been on the mic in 2 years, and I'm kind of hungry. I'm still writing, I'm still making music. Right. I just haven't been out there to share with anyone. So
that's why I want you to come, because they let me on the mic too, and I'm grandma, grandma on the mic, but they encourage me. Because they're young and their heads are in the right place. And we got, like you said, each one got to reach one, because we got as many old heads out there as we do young that are lost. They out there butt breaking, got their pants hanging off their behinds, and our women, they forgot that they were queens. They don't even know what queens and princes and dukes and kings, they don't know nothing about that. So we have to, bring that knowledge that we have before we go and before we pass.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to ask Dr. Connor a question. Now, this is your second book, right?
13th, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, well, brother, I'm going to ask you, the books that you feel, I know all of them are your children, so you feel good about all of them, but just share with us the titles and maybe some of the content of some of the books that you have also. Other books.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's my 13th book. I never wanted to be a writer at all. My mother, who is a preeminent queen, said, hey, you got to write your story. And I'm like, what story? She said, you know what story you got to write, and that is me overcoming cancer. And so I wrote a first book with literally $1 and a dream to my name in a dorm room, Finding the Can in Cancer. I went on to write other books. One is Unwrap the Gift in You, discovering how to find that gift that's on the inside of you and really do something with your purpose. I got another book to men called My Brother's Keeper, looking at the inequities in society and seeing that we're better together, and really how to overcome the trauma and the triggers that we have internally, moving into a place of masculinity and also vulnerability. Then there's the first iteration of Dear Queen, which is about how to discover jewels of wisdom to love yourself and know your worth. I've got another book called Woman and Wife. This became a spawning aspect for a trilogy. Then I have another one, talk about race in America, called A Mirror I Can't Breathe, Red, White, Blue, Black Lives and Unmasking Race in America. And so I got a few others. And this one happens to come out tomorrow, March 8th.
Now, would people be able to see all of these books on your website?
Without a doubt.
Okay, well, throughout the program, and I'm going to have, we're going to have you do that, but I'm going to have you do that now because some may not have had anything to write with and may not be recording. So share again how they can reach you.
Yes, absolutely. You can go to my website. I actually have a community, a digital community where we focus on faith, identity, relationships, speaker training, financial empowerment, so much more. DrEddieAcademy.com. All of my books on EddieConnor.com, EddieConnor.com/shop, where you can see all the 13 of the books. And then, like I was saying earlier, to get a signed copy, you can go to DrEddieAcademy.com/Dear Queen.
And I hope you
are. Dr. Freddie Connor, he's also on Facebook, and I've been throwing messages at him and thanking him for joining Hood Research, and I'm so glad to see he's back.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was great to be on the radio station with you the other day, talking about all of the things, and it's such enlightening, empowering conversation. You're definitely gifted a treasure and a voice for our generation.
And I want to say I'm glad to hear you talk about finances, because we're into the digital currency. Mm-hmm. And through the young folks, they're teaching me about the crypto, and I'm making money and sharing it with those who want to get in.
That's needed and necessary. The digital dollar is here to stay.
Yeah, and maybe you can, certainly I'm not enlightened about it, but I hear it all the time, Bitcoin and other things. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can capsulize what it is. Like you say, it's here to stay. And people have seen, let's say, these swings and ups and downs of it. So what would you say, just for a person who's has an initial interest in it, but no knowledge of it, because the older generation, honestly, things are moving so rapidly, and we're bringing a lot of our past with us. But so it's hard to keep up with the future. Like the brother was saying, he got a new phone. He's trying to figure it out. Every time we get something, we got to turn around and learn something else. So maybe you can capsulize what cryptocurrency is, and do we have to really have that fear? Because I always tell people, if I give you a Benjamin, then we already know what's going on. But anything else that's an electronic transaction where there's no actual physical exchange of anything, we would get lost in that. So maybe you can capsulize that for us.
Yeah, and I'm still learning too. I believe a know-it-all really knows nothing at all. So I'm still learning the same thing. But there's a digital dollar, especially, a lot of times as black people, we've been phased out of the next iteration of what technology and society looks like. You can think about Silicon Valley. It doesn't look like much of us at all that are creating software, so on and so forth. So this whole cryptocurrency, especially with the dollar diminishing in value, not just here in the States, but also around the country, around the world, rather. And seeing, especially as black people, we have a $1.5 trillion buying power, but I like to say investing power. And so being able to actually get into the whole aspect of the stock market, what that looks like, looking at the digital dollar, cryptocurrency, learning how the dollar is backed, and getting some insight on ways to invest, but also looking at Bitcoin as well, and doing some research. I encourage those people listening, go out and Google cryptocurrency, go out and Google Bitcoin, and see what that is all about and how we actually can play an investment role in it. You know, I was talking to some older family members of mine just the other day, and say, hey, help me set up my Cash App. You know what I'm saying? You know, but 60, 70, 80 years of age, they say, hey, you know, I realize I got to do something different to get something different, and that's what we have to do.
Right. A lot of us don't really understand because we were never exposed to it.
Right.
Like, I got money in the stock market, but no one taught me or told me what or how to do it, but I just got curious. You know, I see them doing it, you know, when I say them, I say, how come we're not doing it? So I went and decided I'd put some money here, put some money there, and some money there, and find some nice investments. And it's kind of interesting. You wake up in the morning, and you turn your computer on, and you see the stocks are up, and you know every time that stock goes up $1, you made $1,000. You know, tomorrow it might go down 50 cents, but so what? You're still up $500. You didn't do anything, not one thing. The money's there. That's what they do all the time. It's just that we don't understand that instead of spending $1,000 for some gym shoes, which are going to go down in value, you take that same $1,000 and you buy you some shares of stock. I'm not going to mention any names of the companies, but you just invest that $1,000. And then in a year or so, you might be able to buy those same shoes as a gift to yourself.
One of the things I used to hear is that whatever you buy, particularly on a regular basis, is what you invest in. Because two things. One, you are part of that company when you invest in, and you know that their product, whatever that product is or service is, that you're going to be a part of it. And there's many things on the internet where people have been on there. These companies have been around, like my mom used to, although I think they're maybe cataloged now, but anyway, my mom used to say one thing about Sears, and I'm not promoting Sears by any means, but she said that one thing she knows is that when she gets a product from them, she knows that she could go back to them because they've got a track record of longevity where they've been there. So as Dr. Connor said, and I like that, and I had to write it down. You see, I'm gonna use my pen and paper. I ain't gonna tell those stories because I'm not trying to remember everything. I am gonna Google cryptocurrency as well as Bitcoin because we only gonna become familiar with something over a period of time. When we go into a classroom, even in the kindergarten stage, you're learning your numbers before you're learning how to put them together as, let's say, addition, subtraction, and then you take it to another level, percentages and decimals, but we have to learn gradually. And the one thing we cannot fear is learning. I've got a nice, I've got a nice.
Tabidi.
Yes.
I'm going to send you some links so that you can join ours. We're with LXP, and that's Life Presentation. You can go on YouTube and pull up LXP, Life Presentation, and they'll break it down. What is LXP Life? It will break it down about the cryptos, the Bitcoins are backing up because they back up precious metals, silver and gold, real estate. So that way you'll have a handle on what the value of the crypto versus the non-value of your dollars. And you know, when you talk about risk, people take a risk with the lottery, casinos, and the banks that take your money and don't help you make no money.
You know, I like that too, because one thing about us, before the lotto, we had our street numbers things, and my parents, particularly my father, were very much engaged in it. And once we get something, it seems like the so-called quote-unquote dominant society likes to say, oh, hey, look, you know, they're making money that way. Why don't we just get some of their money? I think when you look at maybe back in the 1930s, 40s Harlem, where you had Bumpy Johnson, and there was a sister, I can't think of her name, but Cicely Tyson played her, where they look at how can they get our money. And I'm glad you mentioned now I usually speak about it as what do we call disposable income, but you say it's our something investment.
Yeah, investing power. Yeah, they call it buying power. Yeah, investing power.
Yeah, we have with what we have. I often said, and I didn't know. I know it was in the 1 trillion. I didn't know it got up to 1.5, and I believe the Hispanic community has the same thing. But one of the things that I said, if we just took a third of that and invested, so that's $500 billion. If we took a third of that and invested in our communities, and we look at our communities, our major cities where we are at. Imagine what we would have. People would flock to us. They flock to us already anyway, based on our music. There's cultural appropriation. They take everything we've got, and we get a nickel, and they make $1 off of it. They exploit our actors. They exploit our athletes. They exploit our musicians. So they're actually hustling us on every level. It's another form of slavery. It's just that it's been cloaked in a different way of. Now you can have a Bentley, a Bugatti, or whatever. So we go for the material things. And as Brother Keith said, you get that $1,000 pair of gym shoes, but it's like the car that you buy. Once you leave the lot, it starts to depreciate in value, and it will never be what it was when you paid for it. And I think that's why, unfortunately, in our community, particularly back in the day, but I think it's still prevalent now, where if you scuff my shoes or something, it's on, because we put so much value in these material things, and we don't pass along. And I want to give a shout out to Sean Watkins, the son of R.J. Watkins, who owns this empire, our empire, actually. Sean Watkins had something that he was involved in with the youth in high school called generational wealth. We never look at generational wealth. What can we establish now so that our children, our grandchildren, our nieces, nephews, etc., can move right on into that? They don't have to get out here and scrap as hard. But with $1.5 trillion of money that we have as a collective, because other groups do that. Yeah. We already know that, because the proof is in what we see. We'll go out to another community and invest our money, so Oakland County becomes richer, Dearborn becomes richer, any place with a mall, 12 Oaks, you name it, Novi, they become richer. And why are they rich? Because the money that was in Detroit leaves Detroit and it goes to those communities. So of course they can thrive. Of course they can have nice streets. Of course they can have nice homes. Who built those homes? Who are funding those homes? It's us. So we have to kind of really get ourselves together on that.
Yeah, that's so key and necessary. We only spend 1% of our resources with people who look like us. And so 99% of our resources flow to other communities, as you were suggesting. So group economics is key. If we were to pull all of our resources together as an African people, as a black people collective, we would be the 12th richest nation on the planet.
Right, too, because technology is here to stay.
Yeah, right.
It's not going away. I've been following up. Even the parking meters are going to be accepting Bitcoin.
Wow.
So it's something that's here, and it's not going anywhere. It's going to keep changing and progressing. And the brothers here and Sister Sylvia, we're on track. We're on track because a long time ago they're rubbing sticks together to make a fire. Now we do it electronically.
Right.
So things have changed. Things are changing, and it was one of my managers when I used to work at a McDonald's. Matter of fact, back in the day, I used to manage McDonald's, a couple of them. But the thing was, I was a teenager and still in school at the time, and he said, "Keith, ain't nothing to it but to do it. You just have to sock it to the boom boom with the mighty mighty." And at that time, I was a teenager. I had no idea what the heck he was talking about. But as I got older, I realized you can be anything or anyone you want. You just have to put your mind to it, and it's going to take some work.
One of the things that I constantly promote.
Brother Keith.
Yes, ma'am.
Brother Keith.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Brother Keith said that, because the telephone company, my phone bill told me I can pay my bill in crypto now. So now I got to learn how to use the crypto that I earn and start paying my bills with it.
One of the things that I like to promote here is Kwanzaa also. And what I mean by that is that the principles of Kwanzaa. And when Dr. Connor was speaking, he spoke about economics. Ujamaa is cooperative economics. As he said, we spend 1% of our monies with each other and the rest of it with others. And again, their communities grow. Now, we're going to be on a break in about a minute and a half, but I want to share a little quick story. When I was working in the trade, and I've worked in the trade with this brother here, Keith, I remember going into a store in the Eastern Market area, and I was looking for some work clothes. While I'm, shopping around for what I wanted, I heard it was an Italian who owned it. So I heard this Italian and another guy speak to him who was also Italian, and he says, and I guess let's just say he said, "Hey, Carlos, thank you for coming." He said, "Hey, we're Italian. We work together." And that always stuck with me. They weren't talking to me, but just the fact that they said that made me realize even more. So, like when I leave here, I'm going to an African-American owned health food store. A lot of the things I do, I will look for brothers or sisters who have businesses first. And then if I can't find that, then I have to, go beyond. But I always make my first move to somebody who's got it. There's another brother I deal with in terms of black soap, oils, certain health things. And I do that, but not only do I do it, I will post on Facebook for others to know. So those of you who have social platforms, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever you're doing, I think it's, I implore you to use those platforms to promote black businesses. One of the things that's true, if we don't, as I've heard some of the scholars have passed, and that's another thing, we should listen to the scholars, but if we don't support black businesses, who will? Nobody in another community is coming into our community to spend that money. So if we want to keep them viable and allow them to be able to help us employ people in our neighborhood, then we have to spend money. Now, we're at the top of the hour, so we're going to take the top of our hour break. I want everybody to hold tight, and we're going to come on down the road and enjoy your company and your participation as well. So everybody hold tight. Top of the hour break. We will be back.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Thabiti Mpinda from the Feedback Program. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle, Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Warmer.
Wally Warmer here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
Chew!
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinda.
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Welcome back to Feedback. We're in the last half hour, and I want to give a shout out to the main host who is not here today, Theo Broughton. We love her.
Yeah.
And one of the things I have to say about Theo is that one thing, she has an incredible memory. And she told me once when we were talking, she says, I thought everybody could do it. I said, no, Theo, I'm not among that everybody. I say, if I don't make notes and then rehearse it, but she's got an incredible memory. She's very involved. She's not old enough to be my mom, but she is. I consider her an elder and a wise one at that. A lot of the things that she's imparted to me, and just being a part of Hood Research and being able to meet good brothers like Dr. Connor and Brother Keith, Sly Soul and such. We are a community of people, and we are the ones who kind of are the lights for our village, because there's a lot of darkness in there, and the darkness is the darkness of ignorance, which we have to overcome. So I just want to give that shout out to Theo. We miss you and love you, and enjoy yourself. And I just want to let everyone know she will be back in the captain's chair, and I'll be co-piloting with her. But right now, this is, I did say Testosterone Influence Show, but then we had our sister Sly Soul call in, and certainly we're community in all ways, and we have to uplift each other. Now, many of you may have heard the brother, because we spoke about this off air during the break, that this brother is a cancer survivor. So I wanted him to share a little bit of his story with you, and also say that we have to be concerned with our diets, because whatever we put into our bodies affects our bodies and our minds, so it can build our health or destroy our health. So I want this brother just to share his experience with that, how he overcame it, and how he's the vibrant individual he is now today.
Yeah, as a teenager, I was having these chest pains, and a lot of times as men, we see pain as weakness leaving the body. We don't really want to go and get our checkups, this, that, and the other. And those pains that I was having was causing me to be lethargic in school and kind of lazy and lackadaisical. And I pretty much like school. My favorite two classes in school were gym and lunch. I just love to chase the girls in gym and then sit down and eat with them at lunch. And it was getting so bad. My mother said, hey, you don't seem like yourself. What's going on? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm over at my friend's house watching a football game during Christmas vacation, can't breathe by halftime. His mother takes me to the hospital. My mother meets me there. The doctors do a CT scan of the chest, and they see, they're thinking that it's a punctured lung or pneumonia or something like that. I'm laying on the hospital bed saying it's got to be something different. They take me to surgery, and they need to do surgery immediately. They cut me open. They see my cells in my body are growing so fast. They could see them growing with the naked eye around my heart, my trachea, my esophagus, my voice box. And I use my voice for a living a day. And felt great coming out of surgery. The doctor says, hey, don't go anywhere fast. We have a diagnosis for you. You have what we call NHL. I'm thinking I'm getting ready to be the youngest owner of a National Hockey League team. Yeah. I'm tired of seeing white folks hit something black, Right. He said, I'm getting ready to be an owner. He said, no, you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I'm like, Doc, my first language is Ebonics. I'm still trying to learn English. What do you mean? He says, you have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. I'm filling my pockets to find $4. He says, stage 4 cancer. Wow. And I had chemotherapy, radiation, losing my hair, self-confidence, self-esteem, chemotherapy, spinal taps. And I really wanted to just give up because the pain was just so bad. And my mother, of course, a praying woman, told me, got to go to the scripture, you know, you shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. You know, everybody gets knocked down in life, but a knockdown is not a knockout unless you stay down. But then she also connected it to holistic health and living. And that is getting my platelet levels higher, focusing on my blood levels. And that was more so moving to a vegetarian diet. A lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, eating some of the food that I didn't like to eat, like beets, which are very, very good for the blood system. Of course, replenishing yourself with a lot of water as well. And all of the things that, you know, you were making a joke talking about, you know, we're using some of the oil and stuff like that, the shortening. I say, hey, some of that is shortening our lives. You know, 70% of the diseases that black people die from are preventable. A lot of times we're living to eat, but we're not eating to live. And so really focusing, as I have been, especially on moving from more so red meat to more of a pescatarian, vegetarian type of diet, making sure that I getting my fruits and my vegetables, the grains, that being much of the product and the preeminent aspect of what I eat, is going to make us move to a greater place, especially because our health is our wealth.
Right, too. And another thing that people don't really understand, I don't think, in our culture, is obesity.
Right.
You know, all the great foods that are out there, you know, of course we have all these tastes for this, tastes for that. We want to eat. We want to eat. But the thing is, everyone's body's different. Ours is definitely different. And certain foods we digest at a certain rate.
Yeah.
So I eat beef, I eat pork, I eat chicken, I eat fish, but certain things I eat in moderation. I can have a hamburger, but I'm not going to have hamburgers all week long because I know that the hamburger is going to stay with me. Right. I can eat the fish today, it'll be gone tomorrow. Right. I can eat the chicken today, it'll be gone tomorrow. I eat that hamburger on Monday, it might still be there Wednesday. And I'm steady piling more and more stuff in. That's why we had the obesity issue, because you're putting more in, but you're not getting any nutrition out of it. You know, and your body is filling up in the weight, and we're not drinking enough fluids to help our system digest. Yeah. No. You know, so you take, and with a balanced diet, when I say balance, I mean understanding what you need to eat. Your body will tell you it wants some vegetables. It'll tell you, hey, can I have some fish? You know, say, hey, what's the chicken? You know, and if you just follow that, we can make it. But if we get stuck into this, I don't know, brainwash, you know, I gotta have steak on Mondays, and where's the ham? Where's the? I can say McDonald's. I used to work at McDonald's. People would come in McDonald's all the time, and I see it now where they bring their children, and they feed them. It's back then it was a snack. Right. Now it's a meal.
Absolutely. Yeah, they call it Happy Meal, but there's nothing happy about it at all. And in the long run, I remember once, and you know, this is a shout to the youth out there that a lot of times we used to tend to ignore our elders and not really, you know, we think because they were old, they didn't know nothing, you know, and here we are in school. I just learned this today, I learned that today. So we dismiss the wisdom of our elders, not knowing that their experience is what allowed them to have longevity to begin with. But I remember someone saying to me, and I'm so glad that many things took root over the years, that they say, pizza don't grow on tree. What they were trying to do basically is just tell me that there's certain things, you know, and as you said, in moderation we can and should do. But overall, that's why I say I'm 80 to 85% vegetarian. I make it a point to, because even though I don't know what amino acids are, necessarily enzymes, and certainly we hear about vitamins and minerals and other things that help with our nutrition. But when we eat based on what the tongue wants, but not what the body wants or needs. And your body will reject that. And I heard something, I've been hearing this a couple of times on a commercial over the last week or so, a couple of weeks, where the guy said, yeah, they can make these artificial things in the laboratory that taste like strawberry, that taste like this and that, but it doesn't fool your body. Your body is a biological unit. You can't fool your body. So even though your tongue says, oh, wow, that tastes just like strawberry, when it goes down there to your cells, and we don't even look at things in terms of on the cellular level, really. We don't even think in those terms. We think about what do I want, what do we want to eat. So I just want to say, because this brother had said that, it took him going to the hospital to discover that he had other things. I hadn't had, and I guess COVID was part of the reason as well. I haven't had a physical in a little over 2.5 years, but I've already scheduled last month, and I have one coming up at the end of this month. Brothers and sisters, we need to be aware of our bodies, what we put in our bodies, and the results of it. Because your body, if you regurgitate, your body's saying, hey, look, this ain't working right now.
Right.
So it's going to get rid of it. If you get a headache from something, my son, he mentions when he eats pork, let's say in extreme or to excess, he said he gets a headache. Well, he had to learn through that process that, okay, well, maybe, as you say, in moderation we can do this, but there has to be a balance, and it should tend more towards things that are from the earth. And even those things we have to question some of them because of the herbicides, pesticides, and things that they use as well. Because your liver, we never think in terms of liver, spleen, gallbladder, kidney, but your body has to process that. And I think the liver, it's said, and my number's probably on the low side, does over 700 functions in the body. That's a lot of things to put on your liver and then expect yourself to be healthy. We got a caller, so we'll allow them to join the conversation. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Go Silverado. I just quickly want to say that you got to keep the kids and yourself away from the Mac Murder Burgers and the white caskets. And I want to say that I'm so glad to have been able to hear you all, your words of encouragement, light education, and information again. And when you are on, I will continue to call in, and peace and love, and wishing you all nothing but more blessings from above.
Thank you,
Thanks
sister.
for taking my call, and I'm loving you all.
Thank you.
Love you too, Sylvia.
Yes.
One thing, too, I wanted to add before I forget it, is that we don't emphasize in our culture, especially here in Detroit, pride, wisdom, and respect for our own people. We have a lot of things to be proud of, and one of the things I just thought about the other day, I was with Miss Beverly Kendall Walker, Friends of Detroit City Airport, and we were just talking, and somehow it just dawned on me. We own the largest and the only black international airport, Tacoma Young International Airport, in the largest African American city in the United States of America. In other words, we control that airport. They haven't been able to privatize it yet. We've been fighting to keep it. But in the largest African American city in the United States of America, the African Americans still control the aviation.
That's a legacy, and that's one of the things we have to definitely keep legacy, and then we have to continue those legacies. That's why I shouted out Sean Watkins about generational wealth. We want to see a string of our people from from now. I worked with an outside contractor as we work with the local, but we can pass skills along. College isn't for everyone. I've got a degree. I never mention it because it's not that big a deal to me, but I do have it. But I feel like I gained a lot of, let's say, intellectual knowledge and learning from there, because I was my minor was Black Studies, which is what really was, as far as I was concerned, was my major, but I got one in political science. But I say that having a skill, I appreciate my skill as much as or more than I appreciate my college degree, because with a skill, and this is something that in our community we don't really speak too much about, but it's very potent. There's a lot of money to be made. I know many electricians, plumbers, carpenters make six figures easy, and that's on the low end of 100,000, because you can become independent. We all are going to have homes or someplace we live. We're all going to need those skilled trades. So mechanics, If you're driving a car, you need somebody to fix it. So and there's nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty. I was a part of TULC, which was Trade Union Leadership Council, which is what got me into the trade. And I remember there was a millwright, because they were teaching classes to encourage us to get in the trade. But one of the things the brother said, he says, I'm a millwright. And this was like back in the late 70s, early 80s. But he said, yeah, my hands get dirty, but I make a lot of money so I can buy plenty of soap. You know, that always stuck with me.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he said I can buy plenty of soap. And I used to look, when they had the physical yellow pages, you could just see page after page of lawyer, but only the elite were the ones who could be on television. So a lot of electricians and other tradespeople were making more money than people who had law degrees, because the services of a lawyer are sporadic. You know, when you get an issue, then you might need a lawyer, but you're always going to need that electrician. I'm retired from it, and people still calling me, hey, you still doing things, you know.
I'm retired too.
Yeah, but, you know, and depending on them, I might, you know, just if it's something small, 'cause I don't like to get into anything too involved, I can do it in a couple of days or so, and they're a good person, I look out, but I say don't give any referrals, because if you do, I might be working for that person and you off the list. You know, I let them know, you know, save me for yourself. Don't share me with others, because I want to enjoy the time so I can spend time. And both of you brothers are writers and have been involved. But now we've probably got about another 9-10 minutes in the show. So what I want you to do, because people who could have tuned in late, I want you to give again an overview of your book and how they can get it.
Absolutely. It's been great sharing with these two titans of truth right here, Brother B-Day and, of course, Brother Keith. And I hope you all have been empowered today. Listen, my new book, Dear Queen Volume 2, is my 13th book. It's coming out tomorrow, March the 8th, on International Women's Day, and it's all about uplifting our queens in our community. Queen means quintessentially unique, empowering everyone naturally. This is a book of love. This is a book of leadership. This is a book that lifts the lives of our sisters. Malcolm X said the most neglected, unprotected, and disrespected woman on the planet is the black woman. This is the time to celebrate the strength, the sagacity, the serenity, and celebrate all of the great things that you're doing. You can go right now to Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it on my website, dreddieacademy.com/Dear Queen, available as an ebook, audiobook, and a hard copy.
And I was looking at the bottom as our engineer, our wonderful engineer, Tim, had focused in on the book. It says "Walking in."
Yes,
how to walk say that.
How to wear your crown, walk in authority and authenticity.
Yes, I love that, brother. I love that. And many of you are queens out there, or princesses who become queens. And one of the things I want to say when we think about just our black women, and we have to protect them, as he said, Malcolm X highlighted that, that you have Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, she promotes a very raunchy, raw type, vulgar, if you will, type of rap. But one thing I will say about her is that I believe she just got her degree,
right?
Or she's about to get her degree, one or the other. So even though she has that persona and that image, and of course this is art, and unfortunately a lot of time life imitates art. So we'll see something. The sagging pants is another, I guess, example of that. We will imitate something that's negative because it's popular, it's the fad, it's trendy, or whatever it is, but it's thrown at us so much, this repetition of images that, and I got caught up in that in the 80s, I won't lie. You know, I started to listen to this stuff, and it's infectious. You know, it takes you over without you realizing that it's got you. But one of the things that I found to be important to me is that we have to kind of counterbalance that. I think this book is an excellent way. We've gotten away from reading books as well, and I believe you said it's on ebook as well?
It's on ebook as well, and what they say is the average individual only reads one book in their lifetime post high school graduation.
Wow, that's crazy.
In a lifetime, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, what I used to do when I was in school was, I'm going back to say junior high school. I would take a dictionary, I'm talking about the good old Webster's, and I would open it, just any page, and put my finger on a word, and I would read it and read the definition of it. And that way, each day I was going to learn something different. And then the one day I went and put my finger on a word, and it was anti-disestablishmentarianism. That's people against the people who are against the people against the government. And at that time, up until really about maybe 10 years ago, it was the longest word in the English language. Now, how did I find that word in that big, thick Webster's dictionary? It was because I wasn't afraid to take the chance. Just be adventurous. You know, we have some of the greatest minds and imaginations and dreams and goals. We can change it into goals if we just make it. Like, I'm really proud of the brother here with his book and his books. Let me put the plural on there. His books, because he wasn't afraid to be who he is. You know, and he's sharing it with the world, because we do have another generation coming up, and they do have to have some people to look up to and to model themselves after.
A quick thing I'll say, and then I'll allow the caller to join us, is I remember when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, but one of the things that came out of it, and like you speak with the dictionary, while he was incarcerated, he read the dictionary from cover to cover, which gave him his incredible vocabulary. And one of the things that I've noted, not only do you get definitions of words, but it's got names of individuals as well. So you learn about, let's say, Carter G. Woodson. It may have something, a brief little thing in there about him, and so many other things. So not only you learn in words, but you learn in different things in terms of you're learning different things in terms of backgrounds and biologies. You know, you learn even terms that are in other genres or realms or vocations that you wouldn't know otherwise. So like you say, the anti-disestablishmentarianism, I remember that came out in the 70s when you know, the so-called counterculture was, you know, going against the primary culture.
Right.
Okay, we're going to go to the caller. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us?
Oh, yeah, I just want to say quickly, Dr. Eddie Connor, can you please share with us about your up-close interview in the live studio audience that's coming up at 8 o'clock tonight? So I'll hang up and listen so people that want to participate in the live studio may be able to get in there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for even
welcome.
mentioning that. Thank you. I'm doing a special up-close and personal conversation with the host, Chantel Michelle, tonight in Detroit. And so this is an open invitation. It's free for anybody to come. All you have to do is register, and you can do that by connecting with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and just at Eddie Connor Jr., EDDIECONNOR. Just drop me a little message, a little DM, and tell me that you want to come, and I'll send you the direct link. If you're not on social media at all, you can just write me an email, info@eddieconnor.com, info@EDDIECONNOR.com. It's going to be a special live audience, studio production, TV taping tonight. Let me know that you want to come. We'll make sure that we have a seat for you and you can secure your spot.
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to encourage you all to do it as well, because this brother has been definitely a wealth of information and enlightening to me. Even with his youth, his vast experience and knowledge, which again, as Keith said, you know, we cannot underestimate anyone. Now, caller, we're down on time, so I'll allow you a minute, and then we'll be wrapping up the show. Hello, we invite you to the conversation. Could you give us your name, please?
Beverly Walker.
Hello, Beverly. Good to hear your voice, sister.
Well, my brother, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to be there, but I just want to give tribute to Big Sister Theo. This is women's history,
right?
And certainly she's made history in the city of Detroit by keeping us all abreast on issues. So that's what I want to say. God bless you.
And we'll look forward to you being in the studio in the future, sister.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Hey, Beverly, before you get off, coming up the end of this month, there's an event for women at the airport, right?
Yes, on March 26th. It's a tea time. Talk, Eat, Aviation.
And what's the time and location?
2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Coleman Young International.
Okay, and again, the name of the event?
Tea Time, Women in Aviation.
Women in Aviation. Okay, and I'm going to make it a point to put that on my Facebook page as well. Thank you for the information, sister, and we look forward to being in your company. I just want to, as we talk about our queens, and as this book indicates, Beverly Kendall Walker is certainly one of our queens as well, and she's always been out there on the front line, taking care of business and working for the community. A lot of people who are out there just working for themselves or for notoriety or maybe a little money or a pat on the head or something. This sister is out here on the front line working for the community, and so I just want to give her acknowledgement now as one of our dear queens.
I appreciate you, my.
Thank you, sister.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now we're down to the last 2 minutes, gentlemen, and as they'll say, time really flies when you're having fun.
It sure does, I tell you.
Absolutely.
Just shot
So
back.
again, what I want you to do, brother, is just share the contact information, and those of you who have pen and paper, and remember, not only contact information, but your event tonight as well.
Absolutely. Event tonight, up close and personal, real dialogue, talking about the community, but as well as our queens, and giving enlightenment and empowerment. Register tonight simply by connecting with me on social media at Eddie Connor Jr. EDDIE CONNOR. If you're not on social media, send me an email, info@eddieconnor.com. Let me know that you want to be there tonight. It's free. All you have to do is register with me, and we'll secure your spot in your seat. The book is coming out tomorrow, March the 8th. I need your support. My 13th book, please go to Amazon.com. You can even pre-order right now to get the ebook, the audio book, the hard copy, as well as you can get a signed copy from me simply at dreddieacademy.com/Dear Queen. And so thank you so much, brothers, for this opportunity. We're lifting each other up, and that's what we have to do, speak truth to power.
Wow, things have changed so much. I remember back in junior high school, we had to march around the school because we wanted a black area in the library with black books, because there were a lot of black writers back then, but they didn't say black writer on the book. We had to march to get them to say, okay, put these books over here. But it worked. But now this is the day of electronics and modern technology. Brother, here, all you guys have to do, and ladies, queens, is just go check it out.
Yeah, be adventurous. Now, I'm going to get ready to close out the show using Theo's phrase and then using my phrase, and I'll ask you to tune in next Monday at 9 p.m., Brother Mark Cummings. Shout out to you, brother. So as Theo always say, it's not necessary to know everything, but it is necessary for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. And as I generally say, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished. So we appreciate everyone who viewed and listened, and we ask you to join Hood Research next Monday, 9 a.m., forgive me. And so shout out to everyone. Be kind to one another, and let's uplift each other. Peace.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-804-0119. That's 1-800-804-0119. Call now. 1-800-804-0119.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.